thank you very much for coming, and this is actually a reflection of my lesson that I taught on the 23rd of March 2022. Just to quickly and briefly go through, I taught a topic which is migration of Bantu-speaking people, where they came from, why did they come, which trade routes they used, as well as where and why did they settle where they settled. So I'm quickly going to take you through the reflection, which I believe and also found out that I was supposed to teach it the way that I've reflected on it than how I taught it on the 23rd of the 3rd month of 2022. All right, the first one is on the teaching and learning media, or the teaching aid. Kindly note that what is highlighted in red is actually what was there then, and what is highlighted in yellow is the reflection of it. So on the 23rd, I used a poster to teach the track roads, as well as why they used the track roads and so on. But then I came to realize into my reflection that I was supposed to use printouts so that it can better the view of the students. Each student was supposed to have a printout or a copy of the track roads. In the same vein, just to take you through as well, the skills that were required, or the competencies, as participation, I as well expected the learners to participate, and after the lesson, they were required to investigate and as well as communicate, because then it's a learner-centered education that we are using today. All right, moving further, when I taught the lesson, I got to realize that I started with the prior knowledge instead of a recap on the topic that was taught the previous day. So in my reflection, as you see in yellow, I was supposed to do a recap on the previous day's topic, and as well as then ask the prior knowledge definition of migration from the learners. Also, teachers' responsibility, like you're seeing there, is to ask the learners what was discussed in yesterday's topic or the previous day, and ask the learners to define migration in their own understanding. And also, then that's when you move on to asking the prior knowledge of what they have in terms of migration. And then what was expected from the learners is just to listen and as well as answer the questions coming from the teacher. So despite that, then also engage the teacher on the basis of what they are being told in the lesson. And then coming to the development, I spoke about now correctly defining the term migration, and also why track roads were used by the Bantu-speaking people, and then also then something that I found out that I missed during my lesson is identifying major languages and groups that moved southwards and their lifestyle, as well as giving reasons why different groups settled in different different areas. So in the same way, if you see the teacher's duty, you'll find that chalkboard, just to look at the major groups and the languages inclusive of their lifestyle, which I missed out. I was supposed to put it also down or jot down on the chalkboard. So just to quickly refer you back as to what is migration. Is actually the movement of people from one place to another, and also the major languages and groups that moved. So when we look into the Bantu-speaking people, these are people that came from the east or east-west Africa, and they moved towards the southeast of Africa. So giving reasons as to why they settled in different areas, different people settled in different areas, looking at what they had. There are people that settled in specific areas where they needed to plow, where they needed water or river near by them. And then there are people that settled in other areas looking at matters of the grazing land, and also looking at matters of shelter and so forth. And others moved from one place to another simply because of grazing and so forth. So there is on the development and reinforcement. Reinforcement, I feel I actually did justice to that. And then I realized my conclusion was too short, as it didn't actually give, when I gave my homework, I did not now do clarification on the homework, or the questions of the homework, so to say. So the first one is to do a recap of what was learned today or that day, and that is what I did. However, when I gave the homework, I did not now explain the questions that were supposed to be done as a homework. So I think that is all that I've looked at, and that is how I really wanted to improve my lesson plan, unless we have got questions. Yes, Mr. Halandi?
Since learning is based on the environment that you're in, did you at least give the learners a chance to talk about why people were in different places according to their environment?
Yes, most definitely, because if you look at now, before I moved into my development as to why different people settled into different areas, I asked them, why do you think that Kavango settled in Kavango, and why do you think Herero settled in the Herero land? And then you'll find that these people have got different living styles. Kavangos are so much based into agricultural farming. Hereros are so much based into cattle farming. So they needed land which would definitely cater for their cows, and then Kavangos as well needed land that would cater for their crops. So I actually made it so basic that they understand why people lived where they are. Any question? Is there any question? Or we have? Sorry?
I still want to ask.
All right. Yes. Come through.
Okay. Since you reflected your lesson based on your success and your failures, did you at least try to find out if your learners understood what you taught by at least giving them an activity or a homework?
All right. Thank you very much. I gave the homework, and that is actually what drew me to the attention of reflecting my lesson plan the way it is. Because then I realized, for example, into the conclusion, when I gave the homework, I did not explain the questions as expected. Then that led to the learners answering the questions into their own atmosphere instead of answering the questions the way I wanted them to answer, so to say. So that's actually what drew me to reflect onto such matter. Do we have any question, or everything is clear? If everything is clear, then I thank you very much for attending, and have a blessed day.